All right. Sorry, yo.
Mm. Right now, I dey build powerful app them
Okay,
where they
yeah.
react all.
Tell me what did they do right now? While they do this? Now, they build apps
Um,
them for they show people them or they
yeah.
use them.
No, I dey test them. I dey test them.
Mm-hmm.
I create one app where they analyze the economic calendar for me.
Oh wow. The economic calendar, not the
Hello?
Salon one.
Yeah. I go under Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
I put the prompt. So I make sure say he gets all the links them. But each date, the economic news the way they come out. So it dey show me the previous, it dey show me the current news, the impact under the impact. It dey show me the previous one we don't pass, the impact we get na the market. It dey show me this the current one or the one wey dey come, a speculation. Then it dey show me the one we get for common next.
Now, what's information they like? Would actually in the be useful for?
Yeah, it dey use for forex trader them. Then forex trader them. You know, so
Oh.
before then they do trading first, it dey analyze the economic calendar. So
Oh.
I
Okay.
just what we don't do then this year, now I say now do am. So what I do am then direct me na JavaScript. I post am na JavaScript. I go under React. In React, they show me time, everything.
Wow. Okay. Me, I know if you did. I mean, React. I know if not now like a language, eh? On a
Na
application, I can
language.
see the name, but I don't know. I know if I know if na language or if na application.
Na if you are like something like na application.
Oh,
It like
okay.
we get office so na they dey write code. But you know say now it's ChatGPT wey you get am prompt, e dey write for you the code.
Yeah.
So you just dey, yeah, you dey ask am say well this code, let a find an application wey go read am. So in
Ah.
dey count JavaScript, e dey count different one dem dey tell you say the best one na this dey react with this wire because of this, because of this. Then e say use so or use Java to react. Then you press am, e dey take am to Java straight. If you no get Java, e dey download the Java for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's so helpful. Wow. So the application even for user now for see the
Mm-hmm.
analysis.
Mm-hmm. E dey work fine. E dey work fine.
Wow.
I know no, I know relate it with the Meta Trader 5, how in they react with the news. But like they react fine. The react, yeah, they react.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you did trade?
Yeah, I can do trading and I learn at the land. I
Oh,
did
okay.
not learn at the land. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now you can use AI for even learn some more.
Mm, mm,
Wow, that's amazing. Me, this was, I mean, AI and just so like big, say anything we have for creates, it's very helpful if you
mm,
just do. That's
mm-hmm.
really awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You don't talk to people them like what did they learn or the school?
Yes, I talked to some of my friends then. They're all interested because even yesterday I did Makini. I go Makini yesterday. Yeah, I talked to some of them. They're all interested, and this in a nini thing to them.
Oh
Some
wow.
are if you tell them, yeah. Some man are all a chat GPT in Sabi. For say this na AI, they do this, we put caution, they give this, but they don't know to the extent say they do all them thing then they.
Yeah, like what did they do right now?
Mm, mm,
Oh, that's good. Wow, yeah. That's really good. I'm very excited for see like what's really happen, what's go happen, the outcome.
mm,
Step
mm,
not for like the end, but just like within how the things people where they put where they show people them where they learn like what's gonna get for build or what's gonna get for create.
mm, mm,
For me right now, I guess like why I get so much information, I don't really even know like who's way for move. So I just sit back, I begin just teach the beginning. That's
mm,
because me I don't know me I can get so many me I just like my mind I get so many ideas man for do they all, but no said I
mm,
know to the way for do that.
okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, I can just teach the beginning class, and if somebody want for Excel go even more, I go support. But at
Mm,
least this was to go introduce people to them, especially if they don't know.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then where you are for Excel, go shoot, go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this website. I think so. Maybe I for even like do not to right now, but like because this website's now all AI. I use the assistance of AI.
Okay.
Yeah. So for even for me, I think for create all this by myself, it would take a long time. But with AI assistant,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me for put them
Yes.
together.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And also one guy where I do that agriculture with them Kowabi they show there yesterday. If you don't get a what them call a website, it don't take 2 years for like just try set them up no more. What I
Mm-hmm.
tell and say that website they that within it not even reach 1 minute we are creator. If
Hey,
you
you
say na
show.
lie,
You
you no
show
believe.
her.
You no believe the man no sabi nothing but with them call. They go and fala people. Like you see any big the IT man there. I
Uh-huh.
swear to God. I say me, it not even take 1 minute for create standing. He watch that agriculture.
You
He
not
own he
believe. You
own
say waiting.
he not believe.
Yeah, Abu, this was a very good opportunity. Like where people don't know yanda. This not
Mm,
anything I think say where I'm for do. And me say I go build the website, I go do this, I go teach you now just for introduce you
mm,
now. A
mm,
very good
mm,
position where you discover
mm-hmm,
this.
mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that they funny. So the man did not believe. He say it will
He
take
not
two
believe.
years
He
for do
not
that
believe.
day. You just can't see map for
Yeah.
catch you.
And he not do it say now. He not do it. He say he want this and anything he wants, any tab he wants na the website. Then they charge him. Any tab he
Mm-hmm.
wants. He want tab. Who say he dey get that what they call for let people donate. Na him be the part talk to the guy. The guy they charge am say for code that side dey he dey pay am. Na that's say that day wey he want am just go AI wey don make wey he want am he just dey add the prompt. He dey
Mm,
add am dey for you. But
yeah.
you no sabi nothing,
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Yeah, because it gets
Mm,
the beginning, the information, so in
mm,
mind, I guess where they already pay, you know have for believe, sabi nothing.
mm, mm, mm,
Now, so some people then they vex so because where they see for say now
mhm,
you know something, not for say for but like with
mm,
AI, what did they see people there? What did they use AI for like do things that fast? I think say because they don't
mm.
commit to something where it take long, and where they can see somebody do
Yes.
it fast. Like it hard for
Mm.
me to switch for accept that
Believe.
day.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They know they believe.
Yeah,
They
but
say, say me the money for so I don't spend pan this. If they see the one where you dey show am, a more authentic, a more actual than waiting intercept get.
mm-hmm. Oh wow,
It
that's
dey it dey it disbelieve. They know they believe.
wow, that's really good. Well, this opportunity is good for you, and
For me, every day I get me book. I just dey sit down normal, I think, go and write something. I go na my computer. I try for creator. I did it na so I dey learn. Like when you tell me no more say, I send you the way they do it. That's why I dey learn. Even the prompt there, why they give the prompt, I don't begin we put her in paragraph. It dey more understanding. We
mm,
put her one everything in one paragraph. I don't test down the 2 times, 3 times. Now the same way they call. I dey see the result where they come out. Very
mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the more they do and the more they see, because even me, if I could do some things, especially if na new application, they think same the same
Mm,
way they write and per one, and the same per the other, but
mm,
sometimes need for
mm.
change things them up. But yeah, so that's good.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So I guess for you the plan right now for you don't want for just learn and learn and then you just share with them. But I guess now some you want for like build any kind of project around this or you just explore.
Yes, yes, yes. I dey build a project on this. The proposal, like I tell you last week, I don't draft am done,
Mm-hmm.
but I dey look on, I be one do, I be dey think of, I no wan do am static, I wan do am that mobile like, wherein I dey find a projector, I dey get me projector, I dey visit school to school, I dey give the introduction only.
Mm-hmm.
From there, when you need me service, I give you me complimentary card. Na that day I did pan think of.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. I
Na
just
just the
asked more for
introduction.
C. Okay.
mm.
I just want to see for so
And
like
then the,
not to just like they play with this, but like what you want for do for move forward. I know you mentioned the agriculture,
mm,
so I just say checking number,
mm,
for see okay, they try for move towards something for build for this, at least
yes,
for better
yes,
yourself.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's good. Yeah, and then one thing for me, self, what I learn because I be talk to somebody else, so when they do this, I guess try for see how if you take on seriously, if now you know more or with a group where they try for build a group
Mm,
for build the foundation because not business, at the end of the day.
mhm, mhm,
So you say
mhm,
important for like build the foundation of your business, although in good for begin for do
mhm,
the work, like not for
mm,
puts the cat before the horse too far. Like yes, begin for the
mm,
network and reach out and show, but at the same
mm,
time, like I don't know like how salon day for the foundation, but like see what you need for do for the business side, the business administration. So you need for register anything, the name, like what's you able, not for
yes,
everything you
yes,
able, but for register your
yes.
name, or especially if they
Mm,
begin for like they deal with if purpose they begin for pay for see for like a business accounts, just like the business structure side, because the man advised me
mm,
for say like now that part they people them whether they do business or entrepreneurs or even people possibly creative, now that part that they forget, and then they prevent them
mhm,
for really grow for do things them because now whether they go to the school them or they try for work with other company they ask them okay what's how you get like what's for show them the documents, yeah.
that's not,
Yeah, so
that's
for
not,
yeah, so not to for say like not everything you need for setup, but just for kind of get in mind for say as you really grow for really build your foundation. I don't me
mm,
name me register because maybe this could for say what's not the business name, you don't register. So for
mm,
just
mm,
based on the
mhm,
situation, really,
mm, mhm. That's
yeah,
not true.
yeah. So that way they will really take you seriously. They say, okay, this has to know what they
Yes.
say,
Mhm,
like.
mhm,
Yeah, so I don't know if they get programmed them in there for like help for setting it up because even myself now I realize I'm like, oh, okay, I need to actually really do that.
mhm. Yes, yeah, yeah. Then they do am. Then they do am na you building. Then they register everything. When we get project, especially education project. So then
Yeah, so
they
just
do.
keep in mind for saying you need for the foundation for the day, whether not they
Okay.
registering or just like for just understand if not. I don't know if business plan matter. I did pass sign up now. They get program here so for whether they get mentor them for businesses. So they sign up for me to teach me for say what I did for do,
Okay.
Because me,
Okay.
that part are boring and then it take so long, but now they say very useful for do that part. Say
Mm-hmm.
if the
Mm-hmm.
money
Well,
business for the accounting, how much do they pay you for the project, all that stuff, the cost, if you get a people, all of that.
okay. Okay.
But
Yeah, I go sit down. I do more research because we are mainly na it's just the we want register you business or any other thing. Now just few documents they ask you for no more. They
okay,
ask yeah. Now only maybe they go ask you for proof of residence. They go ask you for national ID card. Now no more only they need ask you boku 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 thing and what
okay,
they pay
well,
you.
yeah, okay, like whichever, like yeah, I know say every place get different things, in, but whichever you need, just sets the foundation, That's all.
Okay, no problem, no
That's
problem.
all.
I will need that down.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, at least for putting name by facilities. So if yeah, that's all. And then in advice for like if they do business name, like
Yeah,
it can be
because
specific.
we the mommy when become we get one who we don't put in place that prosperity academy.
Mm-hmm.
So even yeah, now we don't already put in place for register do everything.
Oh, okay.
It's not it's in there on the floor, there on the floor because all that project in I didn't get for more because instead get a family who other family we he wants make a good help, especially there is that marketing and also
Oh, you can speak
plenty
louder. I
many
know they hear you.
so like he get some of Ufambulem. You dey get me now?
Yeah, yeah, they hear you.
Yeah, we get some of Ufambulem we at least he want make me bag with the teach like marketing then also wetin they do they have five thing they who they do so like would they plan for do that prosperity academy
Oh,
we
okay.
register am register am, we start work on am. Na that
Okay.
name, na that.
Okay. Well, then they good for prosperity. I guess for me, I just say even for well, so they plan for where they go to the school then for propose. I guess for me, they work with you. Then that prosperity
Mhm.
you do and through on our own business, like for you as a contractor businessman.
No, the because na we dey do am under prosperity because prosperity academy because the mami according to how you are set am, prosperity academy na the education side.
Okay.
Yeah, na the education department than the way in one. Wherein we dey teach most relative, most closest relative them at least. Then from there we go able to see how we able extend them because the mommy they even think of for another printing press like that.
Okay.
So get a station wearing like a printing press,
Uh huh. Okay. I'm not
wearing
be okay. But me, I now can
we
say
be
too. Hmm.
we at least we able put some decks for able accommodate some people where they can do learning other things then especially on the technology side and the like.
Okay. I mean, okay, yeah. All right. Well, I know me no say. I have to say like you be also one for like set up your own now your own business. They set up into prosperity together.
Yes, yeah. For me own business then, yes. Because me mainly I dey think of agriculture
Yeah.
because last we I get one when this one FIBA food is basic human right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't set na a website I be start for set so
Mm-hmm.
that one where I send at the day.
Okay. I mean,
And then
you.
the agriculture in that day.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I guess whichever venture, and I guess I say any business, no matter if not like just you and or the partner with somebody, the foundation just important.
Mm-hmm.
Important. Yeah. But all right. I guess we can begin the without talk more than the class. But very exciting for see the progress. So what people they see what they do and it amaze them. But I think say with AI for salon, like they amaze people. What is ma? I can talk too much sometimes, but I guess I think like okay, whose problem they wake came for solve. So the agriculture then a really good one. I
Mm-hmm.
just to think of other one like anything like for health information, healthcare maybe, but yeah, or even with the marketing, where
Mainly
they build websites for
agriculture
people.
and yes, agriculture, education, and e-commerce.
Yeah, that 3 day. Yep. So yeah.
Yes. Then three department then they na them more yeah we able do education e-commerce with agriculture.
Hmm.
It, na a department there we know they fail na
Yeah, exactly. But for
because
Chaffalo, this one, huh?
the agriculture side angry boku na na make agriculture produce they know they do for people na. However, boku say boku. I
So
like you say they
wow. So what's not the problem? Like the neighbor for like grow enough, people need a farm enough, or the neighbor for like get the food to
they pop
put them.
yeah the population they grow than the way out in the farm.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, then they born boku. One man they born then 10,
Yeah, I
then
know that.
15. 20. Mhm. So you see, so one person they get boku mouth there for feed. Then he check the one there where they produce the food. Pass the one they more. Yeah, most of the people they na investor the way they can do investment na gold diamond they can dig only.
Yeah, they take and
So
left.
only
Hmm.
yeah, then all your one the way they do agriculture, maybe na one company, two company only. So you see,
Yeah, but
then they not all everything are all part the import. And with the import it's very expensive.
mm-hmm. But if they do the agriculture, where you know see the population in more than almost they grow, that in like No, no, profits that day if you do it right, eh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Agriculture, yeah. Yeah, the farmer, the village, when the people in a village, the population, you don't boku to them in a way that na urbanization no more na dem dey think of. All man na urban side no more na e dey come. You can ride bike, commercial bike riding, transportation, but education side, boku no educate,
Mm-hmm.
boku. So we see say that beke is stop. He jump na commercial ride bike riding.
Oh yeah, the keke.
Mm.
Well, hopefully things are gonna change in different ways for people then,
Mhm.
but that's a big problem. But yeah, argue. I guess
Mhm.
we argue anything we do for the agriculture application that it go definitely boom. So
Mm. Mm. Mm.
so best of luck, man.
I even test for men chickens there. Yeah, then they them bokuna ya. The mommy say me they pull them. Pass
Oh,
one
what do
pull
you
them. Yeah,
mean? For men?
they fall the chicken,
Mm-hmm.
domestic chicken there. I mean there. I start the project that fiba I start on ya.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like
the fall
in a
there.
salon or not the
They
host?
can't begin born. They can't begin born. Yeah, the thing them boku. One fall the born then 14, then 13. It's in the Kamboku for you now. Who eats for Leate?
Wow. Wait, now the apartments that they go grace them?
Yeah, now the apartment
Oh
here.
wow, but you
the
can't do that.
the side here. Now they mommy. The farmer there, he said it's in the number food, then they
Yeah,
disturb
that
them.
they go raise them. Now they caca too much and then all that stuff.
Ah,
Yeah,
now they are full there.
yeah.
Now they will eat some, they will eat boku. Any day they kill fall. Any day.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's
And then,
well. See if you for Fenway for just I don't know, create some kind of farm. I don't know,
yes, yes,
or even if
yes.
not the AI application for connect people them encourage. I don't know people that for go do more farming for sure for say
Mm,
profitable. I think it's possible
mm,
for say they can make money with something. It will motivate them more.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
But anyways, so but I can try for do this because we're gonna be so too long if we talk about all the events.
Mm,
All right. So how to can begin as if like the class since I did record. All right, everybody, welcome to the Using Generative AI course. This is a course that teaches AI literacy for daily use. This is Cloud9 Advisory, and my name is Muna Conte, leading the class. Um, so, with this course today, this one is a free one because it is the one that we're just starting off with as a pilot. And I will help you to understand how to use AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini. And just a basic way to get started to understand AI if you're new to it, or if you have used it before, but not more than just the chatbots. So this is a 4 day thing. Today, Thursday, and then next week as well, Tuesday and Thursday. And what we'll do is, I'm just taking it to the basics because I understand that some people they may not hear it, understand AI, and with AI literacy, that's a very important topic. Which a huge part of it is to understand AI, understand how you use it, and that is taking it to the foundation. And for this one, it's generative AI we're focusing, and so we're going to learn how to write better and faster, how to use AI to research smarter, and how to organize your own files and knowledge, as well as how to understand your own personal profile information. So that's things like how you can better understand your medical exam test, or if you want to understand your financial situation better, you can use AI to do that. Your own particular situation, not just the general information. And you don't need tech skills besides the fact that you actually need a computer or a phone because that's what you use it with for the AI. But you don't need to know how to code or how to be technical at all to understand how to get started with writing. Um, each class is about an hour long, and we're just going to do live. Um, demo as I'm talking through the concept and information. And if you have your own computer on your phone with you, I very much encourage you to practice along. And I'll let you know, I guess, when you should go try something of your own, or we can do it together here. And after the whole course, which each class, you'll get access to documents that we created. Right now, this one, it's in the meeting invite, but there's an AI workshop drive that you have access to. So more documents will be added as the class goes along. Right now, it's this prompt engineering PDF documentation that's very helpful if you want to read some more about prompt engineering. These are resources that either I've used myself to learn some more, or that I've created that will be here. So this is just, it's long, but it's helpful. It's like the more details, like prompt engineering can get very detailed depending on how much you want to learn about it. But this is just like more detailed way to um, make changes on the chat to help, well, at least just so you can understand what it is doing. And it does go into the concepts of prompting. So that's the one document, that's main one that's there right now, as well as the syllabus, which is this one here. Um, all right, so this class is really just for beginners and people who want to learn how to use AI in their profession or in the work that they're doing already. Or if you're just curious, say if you just need to learn something new or you don't know what to do next step, this is something that can help you maybe discover your next step of something you can do. All right. All right. So today we're going to start with using AI for everyday. So today's an introduction day for generative AI and everyday prompts. So the simple prompts. So this is a pure introduction. Generative AI itself, it's a type of artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence to start with, right? I'll just go ahead and skip because I want to make sure the class is we cover everything. So this is just learning objectives here, just things that we'll learn by the end of the session. So we're going to define AI, and then we're going to use some tools hands on, and then go into just information about prompt engineering, what it is, and how you can apply basic techniques for prompt engineering, and uh, to help you with writing. So whether you're writing your emails or you're just making a list or brainstorming, or if you need it to give you information on a website, which I've done, like just okay, what is this tool about on this website? It can help you do that too. But all right. So what is generative AI? Um, Generative AI is first. AI is artificial intelligence. That's what it means. So artificial intelligence is when the computers technology have been programmed to act and think like humans do. So the intelligence of a human, it copies it. And so that's the way we process things, we learn things, and where we create things from different information that we learn and know. And there is something called traditional software, which is something similar to, say, your Microsoft Word software. You type on it, it does what it needs to do, but it doesn't take things to create. So when I go on Microsoft before AI, if I go on Microsoft and I have this document here, that's really all it can do. Maybe it can do autocorrect if I type something wrong. You know, this is, you see, that's AI also itself, but that's about the most that traditional, when we say traditional, that it software is to do. You know, but generative AI, and I can show you right now. I guess it's good that we're here. um, Generative AI can take this information and create. So the word generate, it's creating something. So that's why AI really got popular, because the fact that it's able to create something out of information that you give it, it made it easier for people to say, oh, wow, I can create things with AI without having to know technology, know coding. And the reason why for that is because when earlier when I said with AI, it's designed to think like humans. The technology that's in there. All of these are technologies. Like technology has like there's so many different parts of technology, right? Just so as you know, like the camera is a technology, the keyboard is a technology. So what they put in there is something called natural language processing. Let me put that right here. And this is how I got introduced to the work of AI as my work that I do, natural language processing. Natural language processing allows the computer or whatever technology to understand how us humans understand our language naturally. So instead of having to know how to code in HTML or in Java, you can just write naturally, like the way here, like the way you speak naturally, and it understands it. So that's an example of how it imitates the way humans understand, right? And then, so with natural language processing, when you type something, the computer processes it and understands it. And then it also can understand in something called natural language understanding. It's like very minor different words, but this is the ability for it to process what you're typing, and this is the ability for it to understand. Processing is what like it's creating the information. So let's, for example, let me show you here. Say clear. Let me see. What is generative AI? So clear explanation of generative AI versus traditional software. On a traditional software, what I'm about to do, you probably can't do, but on AI software, you can do it. So copy. This is Let me use apps that we can, yeah, other people can use because I have Gemini here on my thing, but it's paid. So I'll stick to using apps that are free. Actually, let me not use this chat because that chat is also extra. I'm going to do my best to just use like the free apps to show the possibilities, at least even with the free with AI, because that shows that almost everybody has access to it if you have access to a computer or a phone. So all these would be free apps instead of unpaid that we're going to be using for this course, introduction course. So you saw that when I copied it. So now with generative AI, what it can do, so with this generative AI software, you can say, can you explain this to me, right? So right now it's generating. When I tap that right there, it used natural language processing to process and understand what it is that I type naturally. You see, this is not HTML, it's not a code, but it understands it. Before in the past, this was available before ChatGPT. This AI was available without the natural language processing because it was just codes that process it. The first project that I work on was it. Yeah, that's one. It was like right, like just couple of months after ChatGPT like released, and then the clients were talking about how they want to be able to search the database for the a huge organization that collects data. And but at the moment it takes them so long, and this was just right after COVID. I think everybody remembers COVID if you were alive then, because a lot of governments were rushing to get information to collect the data on like what places were affected, what populations were affected, but all the information was in the database that they need a developer to search. So it made them think like we need to be able to search this information fast. So COVID really changed a lot of things for technology, but this was a request that they wanted to do. So what they really wanted to do was to be able to type simple things like these, like, oh hey, what's a population of people living in Virginia that have COVID? At the time though, only developers were able to go in there, so it would take like a week for them to get information and answer on something that now, if they did go through with that project to get to search that database, they can just type it. The end user now can just type it and get the answer with generative AI, but before then it was just, and this is just, that's a real problem and a real request that actually existed. But I don't know if the project is existing already now. At this, it was years ago, but if let's say they use generative AI on their technology, they should be able to just type and search because of natural language processing. Okay, so I think I went into too much details into that, but it's just one of the. Inf- this is like how I got introduced to it, so I understand it. That's why I feel like I had to explain it as far as how. But So just showing you here how with this technology it's able to create and explain all of this. If I go into say years ago before the or if I don't have AI on ChatGPT, like here, okay, perfect example. So you see that same question that I just typed, I could put it right here, right now, right here, ask it to explain, and nothing. It's not explaining anything. I just type it there and it's just sitting there. So that's traditional, right? But with the generative, it's able to, interact with me and tell me and show me things. So traditional is rule based, it follows rules written by the programmer. And it's just, well, let me not, this is just to show how it can respond. But but this is Google now. If you do have the paid version on Google, just as a, if you're curious, you can actually because Google add on Gemini, so now I can actually go ahead and ask it this question. Let me see. So now with AI on this, on top of this, now when I go refine, this is Gemini on Google Docs. That's why you're seeing this screen. If you don't have it, there we go. So now when I do that, it's generating, giving back the information that I want, and then you can go ahead and insert, and now all the explanation of that is right there. Just an
Mm,
example of the difference between traditional and generative AI. Generative AI can actually create things for you, where traditional, it's not made for that creation. Okay. All right. So this information, I'll just leave this right here because you might be curious to learn some more about this. But it will be in this document here available for the class. And if you want some more, or these are techniques we'll go in further, but how you can ask the AI to explain it to you in a different kind of level of understanding. So, say for example, can you write this for ninth grade reading? Yeah, so you can ask different things, go back and forth with it. So that's a good part. If because when I read that, it was a bit more too much technical. So I figured, okay, explain it to me so it's easier. So generative AI, as you see here, it can learn from the data, it can create new things, and it examples of them are ChatGPT that we're using right here. Um, all right, let's move on now because I think I've explained that. So the leading tools, part of generative AI, AI literacy is to really understand the tools that are out there, right? Um, so the tools, the big one is ChatGPT, and then you have Gemini, which is similar to ChatGPT but with Google. There's also Claude by Anthropic. That one I liked it at first, but then later on, I think because they very limit how much you can use. Their paid version must be really good, but I don't have it, so I don't use it as much right now. But I know they are really good for what people say that they're really good for their writing, Claude. And so it's good for you to be aware of the leading tools depending on what is interesting to you. These are great for writing, but they also create images, but they're not the best for images. Now, ChatGPT does have one that's called Sora that's good for images, right? And then another ones that are good for images are things like Gemini, no, not Gemini, Mid Journey. And what is the other one that people say? Leonardo?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Leonardo
Leonardo,
AI.
yeah, Sora, and then I think that Whisk one is really good. The Google one, it's really good for blending different pictures together. So if you want the style from one picture, but then you want the image from like the person from another picture, it's really good for that. Example is when I used it for this here, this picture here that you see. This is an AI generated picture, and the brown here, it's this I blended the brown with, you see the luxury look of the house and the gold and the
Mm-hmm.
plant. So I took a picture on Whisk. Do I even, well, let me not try to do too much screen switching, but let me see. As I'm talking, what I took a picture that showed a mud home in Sierra Leone, like the brown homes, and then I took a picture of a very luxurious house, and then I told it to combine the concept together because I want a mud home that's very luxurious. And so that's what it was able
Mm.
to come with for that whisk one. It's really good for blending things together. I wonder if this is where I have it because I have an account. I like tested on. I test the tools on so many different accounts. So um, I was just trying to see if I can show you the concept. It's not the best out of every each one. Like I've said before, it's good to test them to see which ones are best. There are different ones that you can test out for different things. But so this one, uh, so I did like different kinds. Oh,
Yeah, that's one. You passed it. No, you passed it. I saw
yeah,
it.
yeah. So it was
This one.
here. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't keep the because I wanted to show what I blended together, but I don't think it keeps the history of it. At least I haven't looked to see
Mm.
if it keeps the history of it. But as you can see, I just tested so many different kinds though. Yeah. All right, these are all generation from that comparison. Like these are all the mud home for
Mm.
luxurious combination. All of these different kinds. Yeah, so it can really be good for you to create blend ideas together. Sora and then another one. But this is Whisk, and then Sora is the one with ChatGPT's theirs. It's good. I like the way it can imitate the way somebody looks. So if you have a picture of yourself, you want to make a cartoon, it's really good for that. um, you have to with the prompting. That's the thing with prompt engineering when you practice. Like it doesn't stay consistent, but with you type things like keep the environment and everything else the same. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I guess they're improving on working on that. But I just like Sora. You can create. I've been just playing with fairy pictures for a while right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fairies. But let me see. Yeah, and then you can create flyers. So with Sora, it's really good for that. And sometimes it's not that good with the blending for certain people of color yet, but it can be good. I think with the prompting, I think that's what really matters, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
prompt engineering, that's why it's so important. Like for me, I'm not the best at image prompting, but what does help me out, a technique, when I say I want a picture, like an image, I want to have a really good image prompt. I'll just go to ChatGPT and ask it, can you give me a really good prompt for this kind of image? If I have a screenshot, I'll put the screenshot. But I've done that a
Okay.
lot because I
Mm.
realize that they're better when it comes to image prompting than I am. I'm not that best at creating image
Mm-hmm.
prompts.
Okay.
I think this is like an example where it asks, yeah, like right here, give me a very detailed prompt in one paragraph for creating this image. I'm using YouTube image generator. And because YouTube has started adding that to test their image generator, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not that good at all. It's not. But on Sora or somewhere else, it might be very good. But the prompt is really
Mm.
good. But the application itself, YouTube image generator, it's new.
Mm.
They're adding it to that. It's not the best though. But just to show you how you can use AI to use AI.
Okay.
Ask it to give you what you need. Um, all right, so that's just the tools overview and how these tools are trained and what they can do and cannot do. This is an important thing to know too, because earlier, as you hear me say, how this tool is good at creating the images, but that one isn't good at creating images. It's good for you to
Mm.
know that because you'll be very frustrated if you're trying to create a really good image using an application that's not good at it when there are other ones that are better, or if you're trying to write something really good. There's some
Mm.
things that I like if whenever I'm writing, asking those questions like, hey, write an image prompt for me. For me, ChatGPT works better than Gemini. I've
Mm.
tried Gemini, it's not that good with the prompts. When it comes to asking for prompts, ChatGPT for me is the best so far. But when it comes to you, definitely test it out and see, because you
Okay.
have a different expectation of what you want your prompts or your things to look like. And then even down to like I think the flyer ones that I created, the flyer, the images, I would come to ChatGPT and tell it what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, I want to create the flyer, this, and I give it like the information I want on it, and I ask it, okay, now can you create a prompt for me to put this in Sora to create, you know? But so that's just like know how the tools are trained. Example, maybe there's some tools out there because there's so many AI tools. I'm not even aware, and I probably will never be aware of all of them. But some of them are trained better for certain information or certain things than others. You know, like some of them, I think Gamma, Gamma is good for. Let me see. This one it's good for creating presentations and like slides, but I wouldn't really use this for pictures. You know, it's just to know what tools you're using. You know, like if I want to go somewhere fast, as far as when I'm traveling, maybe I'll take a car or bicycle instead of walking. So it's kind of like to understand, okay, what do I want to do and what do I need to use to do it? And to prevent frustration for yourself, also, especially when it comes to if the thing is not trained, it's really good to understand, okay, and accept the fact that it may not be trained as well on what you're expecting it to be trained, kind of like maybe getting the skin color right and things like that. But accepting that and knowing that, now you can use skills to train it better to work for you. But that's just an important part of prompt engineering, just knowing how they're trained and what they can do or cannot do, and maybe even different areas in the world. Like I imagine that places in West Africa, they probably like, let's say they are developing the tools and everything there, they probably have tools that are trained better on that population than this population
Mhm,
here in the USA, you know, or somewhere that's an island with predominantly white people, or in India with predominantly
mhm,
Indian people, because of your culture
mhm,
and information that you have to train things there. So although it's trained on the internet is still different in different countries. So yeah. So just be aware. So you might see somebody in a different country showing something and it doesn't show up the same in your country. That's because the training is different.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, and
because I see the difference when I'm trying to create videos. Like on TikTok, when I go there, I see different people are explaining how to create AI videos.
hmm.
When I try it here, it's different.
Oh, okay. So using the same thing that they use and the same prompt, but it comes
Mm-hmm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yes.
are they in different countries too? The people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. See, that definitely. I wow. You see, I didn't even test it out. For me, I guess like since I understand the technology, not deep in like a developer, like I just kind of realized like, you know what, it has to be different. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just has to be. Because I was even asking them the other day. I asked, I don't know if it was ChatGPT or Gemini. Like, it was like the same question I asked, but I just switched to countries like the USA and then Sierra Leone. Like, what are really good applications to develop for? I think like women's health in USA, and then same thing again in Sierra Leone. It gave me slightly different answers. You know, although all of it was about improving the health and education, it was still slightly different. And same thing with financial, like finance, as far as like finances, apps for finances in Sierra Leone and the USA, it was similar but different at the same time. Like in Sierra Leone, it
Mm-hmm.
talked about the community to like develop apps to encourage financial education through community funding, like you know, like the Osusu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they
Mm-hmm.
say like maybe
Mm-hmm.
apps that can better organize Osusus would be very good because right now, you know, Osusus, like when people manage it themselves, it can take a lot of time or create confusion. So apps can really help that. And then also like on top of it, it says like as an advancement, the Osusus can be connected to investing in the market, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even think about that. but but the advice it gave for apps in the USA, none of it mentioned anything about Osusu, you know? Um, and Osusu, I even learned after doing that, like a lot of different cultures outside of the US, they do Osusu a lot, but it's just different names for them.
Okay.
Side notes. uh, Anyway, so everyday uses for AI. So that's just, we went over that overview. Any questions or anything you want to add before we go on to the everyday uses?
Okay. I just think about something
Okay.
concerning on the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to create our own project since you are teaching us AI,
Okay.
especially these skills?
Okay, like so basically come up with a class project.
That we create a project, a class project
Mm-hmm.
with an AI tool that we try to develop an AI tool.
Okay, I think that would be a great idea. I didn't even think about that, but I think it would be a great idea. So,
Okay.
um, I guess that's something we can really think of as far what project to come
Mm-hmm.
up with. Maybe nothing too complicated, but a project that we can work on.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So
Okay.
maybe at the end of this one, we can brainstorm what that is once we go through this. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think that'd be actually very, very good. A good way to make the class make sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So everyday uses AI. Let me put that on. Well, let me put that at the end. Um, class project. All right. So everyday uses, common areas AI can support. It can support you in productivity, in writing, planning, and organization. From most people, they definitely use AI to help them out with writing, and a lot of people, and then they get into using it. Okay, well, I can write faster with AI, so now how productive can it make me get with my work? And that's where some people they can learn how to automate the writing. So yes, you can go on the email and what I think I started out with just asking it like, oh, can you help me like write this email for this? It was work, emails to send. So things like that, like help me write an email, help me do this, or if you're planning something out, like planning a trip. It was I wonder how good it is now because I started using it to plan trips when I'm going somewhere. It wasn't that good at the time, so maybe it improved over time. But productivity with the writing, let me see. People who create content, for example, there's so many things on. Ah, what is it called? Put on chat. Let me not just make things up right here. So automating the when I said like productivity is like when you can work faster and better and efficiently. So these things called GPT content. So some people have, I guess, create these things called GPT. So there are applications that stay in ChatGPT, but with the help of them, you can create content repeatedly. Like what are so it's without coding. Also, basically, you create an app that can do a specific task. So this is an AI content detector. AI content detector is a sophisticated tool designed to identify, analyze text generated by artificial intelligence. It helps you maintain. Oh, okay, so that's not as what I thought it was. That's a content detector. So that one detects if something is AI. But all right, well, let's see what they have for productivity here. hmm Presentation, make presentations 10 times faster. So it's like they create apps using AI to help you get the work done faster instead of you going in to type the prompt. Although it's faster with the prompt than you writing it by yourself, now with the tools, it's like multiple prompts that they put together so it can help you be more productive, if that makes sense. One good one that I actually really like was the Meeting Notes Pro. With it, I think with this one, all you have to take is your transcript. Because what I used to do, and I still do it myself, because I just started using this like twice. But with meeting notes, what I've done, so that's with some that's me using AI with my writing, right? Instead of writing my notes down, I get the transcript from the meeting that was recorded, and I usually would just paste it into ChatGPT. Like I'll create a new chat, put it there, and then I'll ask questions saying, "Hey, create meeting notes for me," and I'll tell it at this section, at that section, make sure you include this. Like use your best knowledge, but a way to automate that without me building something is to use things called GPT. This one right here,
Okay.
and then I can take this transcript and put it right here. And the way the person designed it, it's really, really good. I like the way they design it, where it shows you. Let me see if this is it. I think Meeting Notes Pro. Uh, anyway, I just let me see if I can. I'm so sorry. I wish I had it here. Prompt engineering, product, narrative, transcript. But it was just really good the way you wrote the meeting notes. But that's just an example of just you can automate the things you're already doing faster with chat with AI. Um, just try Meeting Notes Pro. Let me let me not just say just try it. Let me click Meeting Notes Pro. I'll add the link to this one. It's just really good when you give it a try. You see how good it is with the meeting notes. I used to write meeting notes a lot as a business analyst. That's literally one of the main parts of my job. So the way I see it structures notes here, I would definitely give it like I think 9 out of 10. Let me see if I can show an example right now, since I want this class to make sense to people who don't quite understand what I'm saying. I think this is where I have the link. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to get the link to I'm going to get the transcript to a meeting and see if I can just show how it was really good at doing the meeting notes without me having to write the same prompt over and over again. Mm, content. So this was the last class. Oh, I do need to add you guys to it. Sorry. This was the last class that we had. So if you go on yourself, YouTube itself, you can get the
Or if
transcript
it's like a group.
from a meeting that you had. Well, if you have your video on YouTube. So any video on YouTube that has a transcript, this is the meeting that we had last time. That's why I'm using this for the meeting notes example. But wherever you get your transcripts from, you copy the transcript. So I just copied it, and then Meeting Notes Pro here, I'll just click here, let's begin. After clicking let's begin, summarize transcripts, get concise. So I want to do number 3, right? It can also draft your note, organize your notes that you have, or combine notes together, but I want number 3. So this is like making me productively faster for my notes, and then it just asked me to give it the script. I just sent the script like that, and this is oh, it's too long. Wow, that's well. This is embarrassing. It usually let me go. Okay, I'm gonna go to my. This might not be a good example, but let me see. Actually, okay, so it didn't work because it was too many. It was too big, but it did work before though. Let me see. Let me see if I was on this because this is a paid version that I'm testing out. Oh, maybe that's why. So they have ChatGPT has a paid version, um, the $200 version, but I don't know what I did. I came across a page where it was $1 for a month, so that's what I'm testing out right now. So the limits on that one it's bigger. I mean, there's no limits to it as much as the paid version, the free version, but oh no, I meant 3. So I think that's probably why the other one was too. It said it's too many. Yeah, so it did take
Mm,
this and it showed me the meeting notes. But you know what I can do though? That's why I love Google. So before this class, I think I've mainly said Google, 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 right?
mhm.
Google doesn't have a limit like that for the free version. Google lets you put big amounts of information and it'll still process it. But I just like these sections that it has. So if I write a prompt for myself, I'll have to tell it like, okay, include the meeting title, the dates, the attendees. It might show all these sections by itself, depending on how the tool is, but I just like the way it writes it. It's really good. But let's just show an example on Google though. Because Gemini, that's the one good thing about it, I can say. It's not the best at picture generation, but it allows you to, okay, may you create meaning notes for this trends. You see the difference with this one? I have to write it out
Yeah.
myself. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. This is a skill that's good. This is prompt engineering skill to know. But once you know the prompt engineering, if you're somebody who likes to develop, then you can automate the process that you just
Yes.
did, right?
Mm-hmm.
F- so I'll put that. But so this is all the text. But what should embarrass me and say, no, I can't do anything else? Okay, it did take it. So it took all of that. And then this is a free version. You see it saying upgrade there. It's not paid. Google gives you a lot more space. So it did a good job. When you don't give it direction, all I said was meeting notes. So the section is put in there. That's just the default that, Gemini thinks, okay, with meeting notes, this is what we need to include there, the date. So it's still pretty good too, actually. But the other one, it saves me a little bit of time, so it's important. But I guess if you want something free instead, this is definitely a better option versus $200 to put the big amount. I know ChatGPT, you can still do paste a lot of things in there, but when it's free, they limit how much data they can process at a time compared to Gemini. They just said take all the space because we're taking all your data. So all right, so that's an example of how you can use it to support your everyday task, organizing, planning. I mean, even things like organization. When I have a lot of things that I have to do for my day and I can't organize myself, sometimes I'll just write everything in ChatGPT, send it like, hey, I have all these things to do. Can you help me organize? So any kind of thing you want to organize, even like there's so many different things, ways you can do it. Planning, organizing, writing, you can write your contract if you know what should be on the contract, or you can start a contract and get somebody else to review it. But
Okay.
that, or like I said, emails. um One thing I think a lot of people are probably going to have to learn to do is maybe not use it too much for the personal messages, because I did start using it to send text message like, oh hey, can you write a text message responding to my friend about this. And I started doing that too much, and I'm like, you know what, let me not do this one. This part, if it's a message to friends or family, let me just use my own words. Because you sometimes can get lazy and just depend on AI. And when it comes to AI literacy, you need to be aware of that. Like, take notice of when you're becoming too dependent on AI. And not to say because you're not
Mm,
smart, but because, like, the more you do that, say if you have a question or if there's something you want to think about, instantly you go to ChatGPT, instantly AI.
yes.
Now you're
Yes. Yes.
over time going to cripple. I think my knowledge is a long term use of this. You'll dumb yourself down. Now you're not thinking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you may be
Mm-hmm.
learning, but like you're losing that skill of like starting the thinking for yourself. But it's like, oh, I have to
Mm-hmm.
check it. I have
Mm-hmm.
to check it. Like, you don't have that dependency. It's your coworker.
Yeah.
It helps you out, but it's not where you always have to go to. So I'm like, well, for my personal messages, I want it to come from me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself struggling sometimes, like, wait, how do I start the sentence? Because I was using it so much to help me write. So pull back a bit from that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
hmm But that's that. So I did show how using ChatGPT to generate an email or a to-do list. I mean, we didn't do that, but let's see. Let's see. Let's go Gemini since that's my buddy. Um, create an email proposing to the library that I would like to teach prompt. I am misspelling. My brain works, but my fingers might not. It's prompt engineering, um, 101 class. I don't know, just an example. So you can have it write emails for you.
Mm,
But the thing with, and this is probably gonna go touch into the topic when it comes to prompt engineering techniques here.
okay.
The ways you can format it or change the prompt. But you see how it wrote it very long. I think that's too much of an email long.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
make it a lot shorter. So you can do things like that, like modify it, change it, and add a ninth grade. You can do that. You can give it like a lot more information as far as if you wanted to include your credentials or anything like that. But this is how I made it shorter for me, so it's easier
Mm,
for them to read because that's
mm,
too much. That looks like somebody's blog, you know. But things like that, it can help you write your emails, and then you can go ahead and read it and say, you know what, let me change this word because I don't use that word that much. Because sometimes AI uses some words when you read more AI information. There's some words that it likes to use a lot. You're like, you know what? No, that's not me. Let me change that word. But but another thing is you can also train AI to like write like you. When you go and or at least to imitate the way you write more. So if you have a document that you wrote for yourself, you can guide it to write like you by doing things like let me see. I don't. I think Gemini. Let me see. I don't. Did they add that ability yet? Your public activity apps. So with Gemini, it's more when you're on the application here. So here I can upload the document and tell like, okay, this is where they're right. So like in this chat right here, for now, at least what it will do is imitate the way that you write. With ChatGPT, you can do that on the system. I think no, not there. So if I think when you
mm,
come here, no, that's there's somewhere you can do it on ChatGPT. No, I think this is the group one. Customize ChatGPT, and then when you customize it, here you can train it and put your writings that you have, so it can
okay.
imitate the way that you write. So somewhere here probably.
Mm,
Yeah. And then I guess your emails will sound more like you. Train it to just write like you. That and the same thing, you can do the same thing to do list. Like give me a to do list for creating my website. So let's ask ChatGPT for this one. Give me a to do list for creating a website on Google Sites. A website using AI to assist me to like whichever way you want to whatever list you're looking for. Um, yeah, so right here you can do that, or just if you don't, it just gives you a list, and that's you can choose, I guess, what parts. I use AI a lot to help me get some things done that I have that like are structured, and some things I'll take like it doesn't mean you have to follow each step exactly, but it's a guideline. So like you know what, this works for me, this doesn't work, and you can go back and forth with it as you're doing what you're doing on the list and have it change some things. But for these kind of things, though, what I've learned over time is when you have these kind of lists, because a chat can get very long, I'll usually will copy the list and I'll go open up a new document and I'll paste it there so I can work off of the list on my document while I'm still chatting here. So that way I don't have to keep scrolling back up, to see, oh, what was that? What's the next step? And then on the document, I can take my notes and put some more things in there while I'm using the chat to continue the help that it's given me. Um, so that's that. So let's see. Everyday uses, live through. So we did that. And then what tasks do you regularly perform AI to help with? As you can tell, I use ChatGPT to help me with this, create this guideline, but everything that's here, I can talk on. But it helped me organize my teaching process with the organization part. So, Abu, I feel like I know, not to say everything, but what tasks or examples can you give that you use ChatGPT AI for like your everyday things?
okay. Like for my everyday things, I use hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So like I use Chat GPT at times to check on like different things. For example, so for definitions,
Mm-hmm.
I because I some definition I cannot go and find a book, then
Mm-hmm.
look. But I just type the say what is this? It shows me. or what this used for. It shows
Mm.
me. Example, like also to check medicine names, because some of these medicine they only put their scientific name. So at
Oh.
times you yes, at times you check it, it will show you what it will do, what who the medicine is for what
Hmm.
sickness. Yes, I use it that way also, and I also use it for every day. Like for example, for to check facts of things.
Okay, that's very good, and that's great examples of how to use it, right? Because I mean, especially like this, I definitely understand because I use this a lot. Well, I did at some point when I was getting my blood test done. The medical names, I don't know the medical names, or with the definition. So that's very, very good example. Yeah, and with the parts, I was surprised one time it was able to. I took a picture and showed it like a device because I didn't understand like why do I need these two? Like the internet company that came to put something. I didn't know what the box was, so ChatGPT explained to me what the boxes were about, the parts. Like wow, that's really cool. But what? Let me see. Other ways that I've used it that was very helpful actually was to cook for recipes because this one lady that I was looking after, she was very specific with her diet, so I used ChatGPT to help me think of like recipes to create and cook. So that was very helpful. Um, Cooking recipes. All right, so introduction to prompt engineering. Let me try to move fast. Wow, you know what? It's fine. Let me know, or if you're in a rush, let me know so I can move things faster. But I won't be too slow either. So, introduction to prompt engineering. So, prompt engineering itself, as you've heard, prompt engineering, prompt engineering, prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is the way that we talk to AI, the way we communicate with AI. So, that can be either by texting, the same way here that I just like type the text message, that's prompt engineering, or by audio when you're talking to the AI. And those are things like either the chatbots, you can talk to them. You see the microphone, you can talk to them. And with Siri, with Alexa, with I don't know, Hey Google or Gemini is right here, but Siri, like the devices that are not on the computer but physical, those you're also prompting them. Now you're not really doing so much engineering with them as far as like changing them, but prompting the word prompt engineering is controversial because engineers they see engineering as you building something, but prompt engineering can be very broad. Like when we're talking to Siri, we're not creating anything really, or these things that I just showed you, I'm not really creating anything. So engineers sometimes they say it's not engineering, it's just prompting. So you may come across that. So just as a note, but I think I blanked out there, but obviously, so prompt engineering, that's what it is. The way we talk to the AI, the instructions that we give it for it to give us what we need, whether it's an explanation of a definition, or to create a blog that we need from them, or to create the meeting notes. And
Yeah.
prompt, the way you write the prompt influences what you get back. So as you saw in the email that I asked the AI to write for me, the way I wrote it at first, I just said, hey, write this email. It gave me a very, very long email. They just said, hey, okay,
Mm.
this. But then, like, when I get more detail, I said, no, make it shorter. At this reading level, you see, it affected the way it reacted to me. Um, and then there's so many different things you can do. Prompting, I think another prompting is talking. And now you can do even video prompting. That you can do video. Oh, and another really good one. Let me see. Google, this is a free one. AI Studio. If you have Google email, you have this. So Google AI Studio here, it's similar to the Chat Gemini, but different because it's more towards the people who are build developers, but you can still use it. You can chat. They have different things to chat here, and then it gives you more of like you can change. I think that document. Okay, here. There's a document. Let me see. The prompt engineering document that I have here, right? I think some of the things that it showed here, as far as explaining the temperature, the controls, how the temperature, how you can set it to zero, or this thing called top K, top P. When you come to these parts of the document, I think it refer not I think it refers to these parts on Google AI Studio. So you see the temperature here that it was talking about. That document was a Google prompt engineering document. That's what was right here. So what the temperature is about is like if you the higher the I think they said the higher creative allowed. Let me see. I don't know if the higher the temperature, the more creative it is, or the less creative it is. It's one of those. Let me see. If you set temperature to zero, irrelevant, most probable token becomes the next token predicted. If you set extremely high, becomes irrelevant or whatever. Okay, that's what. So if the temperature, when I set it to something very high, it becomes a lot more creative and doesn't just stick to. I, I wish I knew this way to explain it, but it's just much more creative and doesn't just like stick to giving you the same thing, same thing. It could be good for certain things, but I'll just leave it at that. I feel like that's probably like a deeper explanation of prompt engineering. But let me just, for what I came here to show was just a different prompt engineering technique. So we can text, we can chat by talking, and we can video chat with the AI. You can do that on the mobile phone. But also here, this they have this stream here. This is the first time that I see this. I haven't seen this on other apps on the laptop. I don't think so. Let me see if ChatGPT has it. No, ChatGPT has this one where you can use your voice to talk. But Gemini, what they have here is I wouldn't do it right now because I feel like it might mess up the screen. But you can do this thing called screen share, where when I click on this, and I did this when I was building the website, it'll share the screen to Gemini, and I can talk to it on my with the screen. Like, okay, what's this? I was doing that. I can show it what's on my screen, and it can talk to me and discuss the information on the screen. So any page that I go on, anything that's shown on the screen, it can see. It's not the best, I would say, as far as if you're looking for something very specific on an application. I was like, it's not trained the best on like other applications modules, if that makes sense. Like I was on GoDaddy, I needed to fix something. It had the information, but it just couldn't get down to the point to help me out to get something done. It did a good job though for a lot. It does a good job for a lot of other things, but it's not extremely trained on everything else. Maybe because it's pretty new, the technique, but anyways, it's helpful. That's all. I just wanted to show this because I don't see this a lot on any other application. I see the webcam where you can Google Gemini itself. This one, if you have it on the phone they have the webcam where you can open up your camera and show Google either yourself or show them whatever your camera can see and have a conversation about it. So one way that I used that, I had a plant that was getting very dry. So agriculture, this would be very good. And then asked Gemini, "Hey, this is the plant," and he said, "Oh yeah, your plant looks dry." Da 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 da. And we had a conversation. And it gave me guidance of what to do with it or next. So that's the different prompt um, ways you can prompt as far as what is prompt engineering and how it influences AI responses. So if you're more detailed, that's better. Sometimes you don't need to be detailed if you're just doing brainstorming and checking to see possibilities. If you're just exploring, you don't need to be that detailed because then you're limiting the AI to stick to something specific. But ultimately, when you're using AI to get something specific, you do need to be specific because you don't want it to write an email to the I don't know the person who I don't know to the teacher versus the janitor. Just things like that. I can't even I can think, but you know what I mean. Like the better details you give, the better response. But when you're just exploring and brainstorming, it's okay to be vague. It's okay. Um, especially if it's a topic that you yourself don't really understand and you want to learn. Sometimes be vague, and then when you see something you want to move towards, pick that and then ask the AI to expand on that. And prompt anatomy clarity. So be very clear in your instructions. So instead of just saying or write a paper, what is okay here? Instead of saying write a contract, right? Like there are other ways you can write that, like write a contract, like it could be write a business contract for partners to like get to write a partnership contract. I can't even think of like what kind of contract to write, but write a partnership contract for this type of business based in this country, like give it more details and be very clear. That's how AI works. That's really how it works. Even with like the let me see. Let me show you guys even with Sora, like with the video ones, details. Like I think that's why I don't go into hold on. Even with these, given details are better with the image ones because it can give you things like, let me show you. Okay. So you see how I said right here, because I wanted her to paint her nails, right? That's not how a regular paintbrush is. You see how long it made the paintbrush? Very long, but I wasn't detailed enough.
Yeah, yeah.
All I said is she's holding the paintbrush of the nail polish with the brush just touching her nails because she is painting one of her nails. But that looks more like a lipstick to me. I don't know what that looks like. But you details, especially with the pictures, like details are better. So that's why I wrote this one myself. But maybe if I went to ChatGPT and told ChatGPT to write it for me, it probably could have been better. But
Mm.
I'm better at text. But let me see. I'm much better at text. But yeah, but let's just move forward. That's what the details matter. And your tone, if you want the message to be serious, if you want it to be funny, if you want it to be romantic, or whatever your contract, if you want your contract to be like innovative, or if you want it to be just direct, simple, but clear, those are the tones that you can give it. Or the format, if you want them to use tables, if you want it to be long, if you want it to be short, just there's different formats, and I'm sure that there are guidelines to show what those different kinds can be. We can probably come up with that later in the class. Let me see. This is what we're going to use AI for. Expand on this, refine. I'm just doing this right here because it keeps me on one screen, but we can do this prompt also on ChatGPT and Gemini. But for the sake of staying on one screen, I'm going to use it here on the desktop. Okay. Um, that, and I'm just going to put elaborate. Yeah. So let me see. Oh, wow. It gave a lot of elaboration. Wow. Introduction to prompt. That's a long, wow. See that? But that's the thing with AI. I like for me, I wanted to like explain it first before using AI because, like I said, I want to like learn to how to keep my own thinking instead of depending on AI to explain everything. Excuse me, because just like any skill, although AI is great, although we're increasing our skills in using AI, what you don't want to do is decrease your own thinking skill. Just as a FYI. So that's why I did it that way to explain first, and then like let's see what AI says. Um, wow, this was hold on. This gave a lot more than I thought. I don't even know where I am, but this is hold on. The tone, okay, okay, prompting, okay. So this is what was added. Guided practice, okay, practice side by side comparison, write a contract, okay. So this is what was added. Just wanted to show the difference between what was added and what was already there. There we go. I think it was a format. I was okay explaining on the format, so you can tell it how long it should be, the structure. Okay, if you want headings and subheadings, bullet. Hmm. This. Oh, okay, intent. So you tell it if you want. Oh, that is very important for the AI. Like when it comes to writing a document that you need to send out or anything, your intention really matters as far as if you want it to give you what you want. Now, if you don't have a specific one, that's fine also. But you can tell it to summarize, to just generate. When you say generate, that means like to create the ideas. Although it usually does that, but sometimes you tell it to, especially with pictures, like generate images when you're on the chat bot, then it knows, okay, let me create an image. Because sometimes when you say just a picture of this, sometimes what it'll do is it'll write, and this is when you're just like on the chat bots, not on the when you're on Sora, whatever you type here, it's going to create a picture like automatically. That's what it's created for. But when you're in ChatGPT, sometimes when you say create an image, it'll create an image, but sometimes it doesn't. But when you put generate image, it does that all the time. I don't know why, but let me see, and then explain the concept. So to translate where they wanted to brainstorm. I've definitely done the brainstorming too. When I don't have it something specific, but I just want to get ideas from the chat, like, okay, brainstorm this with me. Compare and contrast, analyze. So this I've done this when I had a link to an application, but I couldn't tell what the application was for. So I just put the link like, hey, can you explain to me what this application is about? And it did that. Or analyze, I don't know, the market for trading. You could probably be helpful with that. Rewrite and rephrase. I've definitely done that a lot. And then like when I ask it to rewrite it at the different reading level, that's what rewriting is. Answer questions. Answer the following questions based on the provided document. Okay. So these are just the details you can give it. You don't have to use all the details, but if it's helpful in giving you what you need, it definitely makes a difference versus you writing prompt over and over again and it doesn't make sense. And if you write a prompt that you really like, I need to get in the practice of this. It's good to find a way to save them, whether it's a document to put it. If you really like it and you use it a lot, it'll save you some time. Um, that's all. Sometimes you can also give it like a context information, like like the email that I had it right. Maybe I could, if I have an experience already, like teaching people, my experience in work, I can put that, say, hey, include this context, so I could add that as a way to propose my class better than me just saying, hey, I want to teach a class. And then also sometimes constraints and limitations. So with this, sometimes what I do, obviously, mention any boundaries or limitation the AI should adhere to. So, for example, focus only on renewable energy and sources, limit your response to historical facts, do not include speculations. That's very important to do when there are limitations because it's not going to know that. So, some limitations that I've put sometimes when I'm searching for how to do something with AI or looking for AI tools, or even if it's not AI based, if it's something completely different, I'll say like, okay, well, look for the free tools. That's a limitation of the constraint that I put on it. All right. So that's overview of prompt engineering, but let me go see real quick here what we didn't go through for it. So clarity, yes, it's good to be clear. And then be specific, be concise. So go straight to the point. Unlike people, like when we're talking, how when we start the meeting, we talk here a little bit there. You don't need to do AI. Just directly tell it what you need. Because when you give it unnecessary words, it's going to take those words in consideration for the response. It's going to confuse it. And then vocabulary, use precise and appropriate terminology. Like it's very important because the AI, although it imitates humans' knowledge, it's not us, so it doesn't have that context knowledge information. So use very plain language. Be correct about what you're saying. Um, Let me see. Grammar and syntax. Ensure your prompt is grammatically correct and well structured. Poor grammar can lead to misinterpretation. That's true. There are some things where I misspell it and it's fine. It's able to understand what it is. But I guess depending on how bad the grammar is, it can just, the AI just might need to learn how you write. But it can do that. Define terms. If using acronyms or specialized terms, define them explicitly within the prompt. Very true, because some acronyms can mean different things, you know? Um, yeah, so just that tone, being formal, objective, subjective, persuasive or informative, enthusiastic, neutral, critical, just different kind of tones or any other tones that you have. So it doesn't have to be something strict on this list, but these are just ways that you can be specific with your prompt and to make it work the way you need it to work. Like it's literally just a machine for you to, let me not say just a machine because they're very powerful. Could be good or could be bad, but you need to be specific with it to get what you need. And that's where I will leave that because all this formatting thing, you can kind of go over how long you want it to be, if you want it to be structured with headings or bullets or tables. I definitely tell it to do tables a lot sometimes when I don't want it to write long paragraphs. Um, and that, yeah, if there's a style guide, I know with schools or with some formal environments, they want things to be written a specific way and things like that. So definitely add that if that matters for your writing. And also here, this is one that I definitely use a lot. Like, is this an email? Is this a blog post? If it doesn't really matter, you don't need to always put that. But if it is supposed to be a blog post, say that. If it's a legal document, say that. If it's supposed to be a code, say that. Anyways, inclusion, exclusion. State any specific elements that must be included. Include a call to action at the end, or must not be included. Do not use any cliches. Oh yeah, I definitely like to put do not use emojis because the AI likes to use emojis. But there are other things to exclude. But yeah, or sometimes I don't like it to use jargon. Jargon here is the words, if you're in a specific industry, jargon are words that other people in the industry understand, but somebody else that's not in the industry doesn't understand. So, like with the medical field, they understand the medical words and things like that, but I don't because I'm not in the field. So, those words that they use that they understand, that's a jargon. So, sometimes I tell it not to include jargons, when it's explaining something that I don't understand. So that's yeah, just how ways you can structure your prompts to be specific. Let's see. So side by side comparison, vague and specific prompts. Writer contract. Okay, let's practice with this writer contract one as far as our side by side. Or actually, hold on. Let me look forward and see. Guided practice Q&A. Participant tries something. Prompting using a shared tool. ChatGPT free. Okay. Live feedback. Okay, I guess for now, instead of doing this and then coming back to guide to practice again, we could probably just do the practice together now. So let's say with this one, write a prompt, right? Let's do a side by side comparison. Or is there a different? Let me see. I'll put this write a prompt and then together we'll write a contract and then together we'll come up with ways to make it a better prompt and do the side by side comparison. Does that make sense? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me see. So we put write a prompt, write a contract, and this is what we get from ChatGPT. So we'll do multiple comparison actually. Let's do that, and then let's also go on Gemini, write a contract. See Gemini.
Mm.
I don't know. Did I have that click or did it do it on? I think it did it automatically. So try again with that canvas. So Gemini has this thing called canvas. So I guess when it's a document, it detects that it's a contract. So that it's a document that needs to get out of the chat. It put it in a canvas. This thing I can click
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So a canvas is something here. Now here with the canvas, you can type and edit the document.
Mm.
Yeah, and then you go ahead and export it.
Yeah. Okay. Export.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not just exporting, you can do this to create a web page, infographic, a quiz, or an audio overview.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what a canvas is. If it's not a document, Gemini, the way you can get it, let me see. Let me duplicate. Um, If it's not a document, let me go on a different thing. If you want to bring it up when you're, I think it, uh, create images. It brought this back up, didn't it? Oh yeah, because this is what we created in the last class. I
Mm-hmm.
want to bring something that doesn't have. Okay, all right. So if you want to bring it up when you type something, all you have to do is type, click this canvas, and when you click send,
Okay.
it'll bring it
Send
up.
it.
That's all. I wanted to show how to bring it
Mm,
up without have to bring it up yourself. But so yeah, so that's what it did. Here's a draft contract teaching the prompt engineering 101 class at the library. So it, you know what? I see why it did that. Okay, the prompt was write a contract, right? So let me go create an
mm,
empty chat because it since the chat it with the AIs you don't have to it considers a conversation. So it's thinking because I did previously ask it to write an email proposing the class. So when I say write a contract, it's thinking of a contract about the class. That's why I'm like, why
mm,
did it do that? Okay. So let me just put write a contract, something very generic right here
mm.
on a chat by itself. And then we'll do the same thing. It still brought up the canvas, but that's because I guess it makes sense for it to. But I just want to, let's do a new chat with this one too. Write a contract. So these are ways that I find out like, okay, which one is best for me sometimes. So you see with ChatGPT here,
Mhm,
it asks me more questions. And I think, let me see,
mhm,
is this a personal one? But I think because I've had a chance to train ChatGPT a lot more because I think at the very start when I was learning how to train the modules, I used ChatGPT, so I've put a lot of training as far as interact with me, ask me questions before moving forward, before creating things. So it has that instruction, but I don't think I
okay.
have it on Gemini like that too much. So Gemini just went ahead and started creating a document immediately. But ChatGPT is first checking, like, okay, what kind of document do you want? What kind of contract do you want? A service agreement, a freelancer contract, a website design contract where and I think, oh, you know what, it's finding all these based on all the chats that I've had. That's where it's pull an
Mm,
example because I can definitely see because of consulting agreements I've had that a freelancer, these are conversations I've had about them, not specifically the
okay.
contract, but I've had conversations about marketing with ChatGPT, about web design, because
Mm,
I'm designing somebody's website right now. I can
okay.
see why. Okay, so it's very smart. Like ChatGPT is really good with the training. Gemini, it trains, but it's just on individual chat. So each
Okay.
one, but
Okay.
ChatGPT is like the whole thing for now. They're working on making
Mm,
Gemini better like that, but you see the differences.
mm,
Yeah, so
mm.
Gemini just created a service agreement, like a generic one that it.
Scope of service,
Yeah,
payment,
yeah. Like it still actually did one based on my data that it has, so that's impressive. The scope of service because it's talking about website design and content creation. Although I'm teaching AI, since I'm helping other people out, people ask a lot of questions about content websites. So, and I practice with the website building, so I see why. Okay, so these are great ways just to explore, but to compare and contrast. The client agrees to pay the service provider a compensation, but so I was just comparing this side by side with the different apps. But let's go ahead and I think I'll continue with ChatGPT just to improve the prompt. So create a contract. So it gave me this. So what better way can we write this prompt? Write a what? Like what can we add to it based on what we the different techniques that we've said we can do. So I know that we said we can be specific about. Let me see. Let me try to. Let me know if the screens are too small because I'm trying to fit both in one page. So we can be specific. One about I would say the intention, the clarity. So let me see. Objective. Is this information meaning? I know I want to write a contract, but what was it? The structure, the style, the output. Oh, okay. So I want to be detailed. So let's go with the service agreement, right? So adding this, okay, write a service agreement contract. Indicate if you want it to be, create a short story um, about. Let me just do a one page. No, 2 pages or one page. About 2 pages. Let's just say 2 pages. It's output. Let me see blog posts. But service agreement contract between a web contract for a web developer to give to their client. Make it about 2 pages. The developer will be updating the client's website. The client is an auto body shop called, yeah. So this is me. Let me see. Reliable auto shop. So what else? Since I don't know much about everything that goes into a contract like this, I can probably go ahead and ask like Google search and see like what goes into a contract. But I can also say and this is a contract that, okay, since I'm not a contract, let me, okay, we'll finish this first and I'll come start talking about the AI literacy part. But let me see. Write a service agreement contract for a web developer to give to their client. Make it about 2 pages. The developer will be updating the client's website. The client is an auto body shop. Call auto shop website on GoDaddy. The client is an auto body shop called Reliable Auto Shop. And let me know if they're okay. First, I'll just send this, and there's another question I'm going to ask to show you, like, I guess, ways you can get better with it. So it creates this for me. Here's a service agreement. So the different things that I added there is, first I gave it like the format and just like the length to give, and I give it context to say that this is what I want you to create. Very direct. I didn't go and like, oh hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Like no, write a contract for web developers. So me saying the web developer to give to the client, that's the context. So now it has an idea of like what specific service agreement contract to write. Like what it's for, what kind of service, and then I give it more context to say that they're developing it by updating the client side on GoDaddy, because GoDaddy might be different than if they're doing a website on Wix or somewhere else that's more complicated or less complicated. And I just told it what the auto body shop is called. I'm not sure if it matters for a service agreement, but maybe it does. And the developer agrees. So that's why you see now like the scope of the service, the fact that I gave it the context, it's able to include information saying that this is the developer agrees to provide the website update and maintenance services for the client's existing website hosted in GoDaddy. It's able to pull that information to put it here. And now it's all this information here. If I didn't give it the context, it wouldn't know to create a contract for this specific scenario. Enhancing the navigation, performing the routine maintenance, and all this SEO best practices. So this is how when you write a more specific prompt, it gives you a better outcome than a non-specific one. Although I did not, you know what? Let me create a new one because this didn't really show a contract that was not specific, huh? So let me tell it to create a contract that is not. Okay, let me see. So let me see. Write a service agreement contract. So if I just say that, I wonder. Okay. Okay, now this is a comparison. Okay. So the first part, it got, the same thing here as far as this is a contract, but it was more specific saying that this is a web development service contract because I gave the details here, and here it was generic. And then the scope of the services, it's able to give us more specific information to work off of. Now, maybe I will remove some things or add some things, but having this here is a better start for me than this here, because now I have to come up with the list of things, the service contract, the services, and then project timeline. You see, it didn't even have that here in this one because it didn't really know what project I'm working on. It's just it's like a very template contract. But it did put the term and termination. Let me see. So project timeline, the developer shall provide timely updates and communicate payment terms. Like it's just, as you can see, just better, as in for the scenario, for the kind of contract. Um, Are there anything else that you can think about that we could add it to the prompt that you think would have been better? Abu,
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
is there anything that you think we could have added for the prompt to be better?
No, let just see this prompt first and see the outcome.
Okay, well, we did do
Is it
that, and the
better?
outcome is this, as you see. But I'm just trying to see if there's
Yes,
any way to improve it. But as you see, there's a difference. So
mm,
so with that, I think. Or do you, let me know if you want to try another prompt because this is just like where we're practicing together for the prompting.
mm,
Um,
okay.
Is there any other question you have or any feedback, anything else? Because after this, what we're going to do is just I'll just review what we went over the class, and then we
Okay.
can brainstorm on the class project.
Okay. Well, nothing much.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Yeah, I probably should have given us a break
All of
because I realized
all
it's
of this all of this is well explained.
okay. Good. All right, and you've had a lot of practice, so for you, it's like reviewing too.
Hmm.
Wow, it's one. Have we been here for 2 hours? Wow,
Yes.
almost. Wow. Okay, so we'll wrap this up real quick.
The class is very good. That's why.
Okay, yeah. So I'll be aware next time to take a break because I can't believe
Mm,
this. But
mm,
all right. So we've gone over a lot of things. Like as far as we went over key points for, we explained what AI is, and we see share prompt cheat sheets, practice links. I will share all the information on that. It'll be this. You'll have this document itself, and then that folder where everything is, where the other prompts document is. But so what we did in the class, we went over and explained just like a brief overview of what the class is about. That this there's 3 more classes after this, and we're going to create a class project that we will work on for the rest of the class,
mm,
like while we're
okay.
together or separately. But
Mm,
so the things I want to just explain what AI is, the difference between traditional AI and generative AI, traditional technology and generative AI technology. Um, how with generative AI it can create things out of the information that we give it, but traditional not so much. And also how what's it called? Oh, this is like what we generated from that explanation, anyways, too, ironically. But then we talked about prompt engineering itself and the ways that you can make it a better prompt by being more specific, giving it
mm,
direction and the background, the feedback, not the feedback, but like the context of the information. So, like for the contract example that we gave it a context of what the service is about and where the website is being built. And also, we showed examples of how you can write, you can do daily things using prompt, using AI. So, we discussed, not sure, but we discussed how, we use AI to get definition on medical terms and to understand things that we and the state like to check parts on the things and for cooking recipes. So there are different things you can use with AI without having to build a project. For your
mhm,
way, a good way to get introduced to AI is actually using it for these everyday things like your emails or your writing, your to-do list. And then the more you use it and pay attention, you're like, okay, maybe I can use it for like bigger projects, my meeting notes at work, instead of me typing my meeting notes out. Now you work with AI all the time, so you also are. We talked about how you can train it. If it's not
mhm,
giving you an answer that you need, you can correct it as well, and you can train ChatGPT directly on their settings. And with Gemini, I'm seeing that it does take context of what you from what we showed with the contracting. I do see how okay Gemini does train on your data, but it just doesn't have a place like ChatGPT does to go put information all the time. So they
mhm,
both do train on your data, but if I have a document that I want to upload for the whole thing, at least ChatGPT has that specific place to do that. Where Gemini, I
yeah,
guess you just do it within the chats. So it's not a structured way to do that with Gemini as much as with ChatGPT. So we went
okay,
over those things. It was a lot, but I think it was good foundational information. Things like
mhm,
the processing. How does the AI process information? With it understands our natural language. We don't need to know how to code anymore to interact with these applications. So with that being said, we'll leave it there. Um, yeah, we'll just leave it right there. In next class, we're going to just learn more how to actually do the research with AI. So we're going to take it further than just being on ChatGPT and Gemini, but we're going to look into Perplexity and to Notebook LM, just different ways that you can say if you're researching information and things like that. Not just like picking one topic. Um, these different ways you can use AI to do reliable research. So not just research on the internet that may be true or false, but like something very
mhm,
reliable. Um,
mhm.
that's for next class that we're going to go over.
Okay,
And
okay,
you will get that prompting 101. Well, that handout with the prompting. So that's this one right here, prompt engineering. And the class meeting video. This I'll get better with my video, my meeting notes because I get the meeting notes done, but to send the link out, maybe there's a way to automate that. I'm pretty sure there is, but I'll do it myself too though. But let me see that, and we always have like the list of tools. That's why I try to like put the notes on the paper here, so you have the list of the tools as we go along. But
okay.
on that note, let us talk about the class project. What are ideas of a class project that we can do?
Well, I'm thinking of we making a tool,
Mm-hmm.
an AI tool.
Okay. Now, to make it like I guess interesting for you, is there like a anything that you had on top of your mind, or are you just thinking tool, like any kind of tool? You want it to be like,
Yes.
hmm?
For example, like the last time you talked about Creo
Mm-hmm.
to have a tool that like for our local languages, yeah, that can interpret our local languages. I don't know if it's very broad for us, so I'm just saying
Oh, okay, let me
because
see.
it's an idea. Yes, we should brainstorm on it.
Okay, all right. I'll.
Something that reflects us African, like Sierra Leone, at least. When everyone see it, knows that this is mainly is a Sierra Leone theme. That kind AI tool, because most of the tools that you are saying is outside. I don't know if any Africa we have created any tool concerning AI.
Okay, so are you saying like a tool that address that is? Or I guess I was trying to. Okay, so what I talked about last time was how I can see it's possible to train AI on the Creole
Hmm.
language.
Yes,
So
yes,
to
ma'am.
train it, that sounds like a definitely like a bigger because I did look onto that some more. It's possible, but I don't. It's not a. It's possible. Like I know, like if you decide, like, hey, let me go look into this and build, it's possible. Now it does
Okay.
take longer. It's not just like a tool that you can easily
Mhm.
create on a class like for 4 days, you know. But it is
Mhm.
possible to actually train a module on. And the reason why is because like the language has a lot of information, so we have to go do research and get like the workbooks on the class. So it is possible. So maybe it's something similar to what we can create. But
Mhm.
when I heard you say something that reflects, you don't think that the tool is built like from Africa. Are you saying like just any tool, like doesn't have to be the language interpretation, but just like any tool that is specific to Sierra Leone? So if it's like the
Mhm.
agriculture type or a healthcare
Yes.
type, or are you saying like anything
Mhm.
in anything, but it's specific to Sierra Leone?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? We can do a quick brainstorm with ChatGPT right now, and then
Okay.
let's see if we can decide on a tool, or at least do the brainstorming, and then next class, like at the start of the class, we can pick a tool, and maybe we can tailor next class around the tool.
And also, like you talked about Osusu.
Yeah,
So let's think again. If agriculture, e-commerce, education, what will we want to do through AI?
agriculture, commerce, usus,
Mhm.
financial, ususu. And then just write the help? Can you brainstorm with us on a tool we can um, can you brainstorm with us on a tool we can create in the AI class? Make a tool. Let me see. A tool that is specific um, and reflects Sierra Leone. Um, think agriculture, e-commerce, finances, or a translation to. Okay, let's see. All right. So it gave different. So Creole translation and voice.
Assisting.
That's okay. AI powered tool trained specifically to translate Creole to English and specifically Mende or optionally Mende. Use cases. I just want to see offline with limited voice.
Mm.
Waiting at the time. Half a cook cassava leaf. But it's not telling me what tools to use. But let's see. Smart Osusu and finance
That
record
is
keep
one to
a mobile first tool
know.
to digitize Osusu. I think that would be smart because
Mm-hmm.
they use
Mm-hmm.
a lot in a different countries. They use, like I said, different ways, same thing, but they just don't call it Osusu.
Yeah, Osusu, okay.
Yeah, so they have different, yeah, a chatbot in Creole to explain and manage savings, auto summarizing those trends. This would be good. Fraud detection, WhatsApp integration for reporting. Now I just wonder how quick. So now with prompting, we can ask more questions like, okay, if it's doable in 4 days. I don't know. Hold on. Agromart. Let's just go over what it suggests, and then we can do some more. Agromart AI, local farmer marketplace with crop advice.
Not advice. Yeah.
Yeah, connecting local farmers directly with buyers, enhanced with AI that provides crop suggestions. Okay.
Mm.
E-commerce inventory and price bot for small businesses. An AI assistant that helps small businesses track inventory, predicts demand, and recommend pricing. You think that would is that helpful? I don't know. Not as much as the other. I don't know. Maybe.
Mm. Well, for this one, for the e-commerce,
Yeah.
you know that most of our traders, they don't do bookkeeping. Yeah, most of them, they just rely, especially those petty trader. They what they sell today, they see when the month end, they see what they profit. So they cannot track on that demand, especially supply and demand and other things.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Creo AI Tutor, local language education platform, a mobile learning app that helps users learn Creole or English using AI, includes grammar correction, vocabulary building, and pronunciation training. Okay. Wow. Bonus AI model trains on Creo. AI model training. Yeah, this is a bonus. Like I said, I think that's what I was talking about, and it's definitely like a bigger project, but it definitely is doable and I think useful. You can even build a data asset fine tune learn model. Great class
Mm-hmm.
project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, class project strategies. Start with the problem interviews from local communities. Build a simple demo in Airtable plus GPT and Twilio, WhatsApp. Expand in real data collection for fine tuning. Present both technical and social. Let me just say, since this is a 2 week class, it's a 4 days class that in the span of 2 weeks. Let me say this is a. Let me see. Can you update the list because of the? Well, that's a good list, but I just wanted to give us something that class project type, Like, but this is a really good list. I'll put it on that document. F FLOW. This is a 4 days class that we have in the span of 2 weeks. It's BEGINER to moderate. Um, give us the names of the tools to use, and we would like to use free tools just for the sake of the class. So let's see.
Real something. Just to check that we can have here.
Oh wow, these are projects. So I think,
Osusu Farm. Let
huh?
me see. Osusu Farm.
Okay, sorry.
I
Let me.
said Osusu Farm.
Oh, you're interested in those susu, huh? This? No, I think that's good because I really thought about that. Maybe we should just work on a susu. We could start in the class and you can build it bigger, after the class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think those susu because hey, susu day. A WhatsApp chatbot that helps users record Osusu contributions, get summaries, and receive reminders. Why this works: real life relevance. Osusu is widespread. Students get exposed to chatbot logic and database tracking. Tools to use: Twilio for WhatsApp, free trial. Uh, we can look and see. I think we can create at least
Yes,
something
yes.
about
For this,
Osusu.
for this, it will work on agriculture. This Osusu because they have what they call koboto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in our local language, koboto. So this that the just the local name for this. That means you put for me, I put for you. So I think this one will work. This osusu. They
Okay.
just need they just need now this one, if we make it, it's not going to they are not going to receive, they are not going to receive the immediately. All the if we say all the farmers that are going to use this app or this software, they are going to input money on a specific time. They are going to put saying that I'm going to put this money from, or let me say from July, August, September. I'm going to withdraw it from my account again. That the person is having the leverage to put in and also the leverage to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Huh.
now we have Orange Money. Orange Money can connect with those apps. Free Money can connect with those mobile phone money. So it's very it will let's just develop it and see what ideas you are going to put together for this.
Okay, so you're saying Orange Money can connect with the Osusu app, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Mm-hmm.
Orange Money?
Well, now the mobile company,
Was it like a bank
they
or is
create,
it transfer money?
yeah, it's just a transfer. It
Okay.
works like a bank. You can save it on your SIM, on your phone SIM. So if you
Oh,
use
okay.
orange SIM, you are going to save money there. If you use Africell SIM, you are going to save money there. So that's why they call it Orange Money, Afri Money. So with this, you can do payment with this money. You can pay for restaurants. You can pay for different things, gas station.
Oh, wow. So you have Orange Money and what else is similar to it?
Orange Money, Afri Money, Orange Money.
Okay. Orange Money and Afri Money. Okay. So maybe I think, okay, so the Osusu one seems to be an interesting one.
Mm.
Huh. The bot. Okay, so with this one, for this sake of this one, what it's saying is okay, let me just so what do you okay, for the class project, it's just a log, you know? So it's not doing any transactions, so the person is not
Mm-hmm.
transferring money with
Yes,
this one.
yes, yes.
So is that let me see the chatbot that helps user record. So it's just to record the contributions and to get the summary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let me see tools used. So the user will just send to the app saying, "Oh, I sent this much." So they'll send the money in a different application, but then they'll put on the app that they sent this, and then the bot will log that. It gives a total so far. Can reply on how much. So it doesn't. And then it collects the pods, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is because of like the because I told it that it's a 4 day class, so we can't really build something big like that that collects money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that takes a lot more.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So is that fine for a project you're thinking at least just to start?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least just
Mm-hmm.
a place to send a notification. Maybe if
Yes,
somebody this could be wait. So this could be if like okay, so they're still doing those susu, somebody's collecting, but at least when the person sends it, at least the log can keep track of things for now. And
yes,
then later you can
yes.
build more into okay now how do we add for the
Mm.
transactions, you know? So later on, you know? At
Mm-hmm.
least but just for the sake of the class, just to see how okay, it's possible to do this. Now I can actually build something bigger outside of this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But okay. We can build on the Osusu. So I think between now and next class we could just I wonder if has other Osusu. Was there another Osusu one that came up in this big one? Smart Osusu. Let me see what this one was. We could just build on the Osusu and then next class, I guess really come up with a we could start next class discussing this and then I guess with the whole research, I'll tailor next class because we're next class is about the smart research, right? So we'll do
Yes.
research on this
Okay.
with the AI.
Okay.
So I'll apply the class project into what we're learning.
Okay.
ADV and so I just put this advanced one, you know. I don't know. Okay, so the yellow is the advanced one, and then this one is like the simpler one.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I'll just share the link to the whole chat though, and I'll put it in the document. Okay. So I think that's a okay. So that's a link to the chat. So Susu. Okay. All right. I think. So what were you saying? What did you say though, as far as the farmers? Can you explain to me? Because I don't think I understand how the farmers they use Osusu.
Mm-hmm.
How do they use Osusu in the business? Because my understanding of Osusu, I guess let me explain now. Osusu, you say another name that they use somewhere else.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, Kaboto.
Kaboto. Okay, so my understanding is like say you have like five people, they all put the money, and then the money goes to
Yes,
somebody, and then next time when they
yes.
put money, it goes to somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how?
No, yes. So how they do it? Now, if there are five in number, so they are going to collect for this one today and give one person. But that one is going to bring problem. At times it has problem because not all the time, some of them will comply, some of them will collect and they don't comply. But
Mm,
with technology, if you can develop a one that can only receive the money, and they are going to have the leverage to say, I want to make an ususu for myself from this month to this month, from this month to this month. That is, they are not going to ask nobody again saying, you have to give me this for this time, you have to give me this for this time. It's only them and the software or the tools they use to either input or output.
okay, so are you saying that the software? Okay, so they're not depending on the people, but is the software collecting the money that they're getting? It's only money that they put in, right? It's not because other people
Mm-hmm,
put in.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's
It's
basically
only their money
okay.
because
So it's like a
they,
savings.
they can open an account with the app. They open an account. From there, their account, they are going to set up their account, their profile, their proof of KYC, KYC, know your customer,
Mm-hmm.
everything. From there, it's approved. But that one, like we are saying, is the broader one. So let's just try and do this so that we can see how we can improve. I believe this, when we start this, it's going to be a project that will be very successful in the future.
I do think so. Yeah, you're right. It is, but I guess I'm trying to understand what you're thinking of right now. So you're saying it'd be good for the farmers or anybody who has it, I guess, to put money in for themselves with the application.
Mm-hmm,
So they put the money in the app, and then they can
mm-hmm.
set at a later time when they want to get the money. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
they can set a time. So as soon as they send that money is not going to be pulled out by nobody, but only them at the specific time they put it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if they said, today I want to start putting money for today till the week, then I want to get this money on next week or on July 5th. So as soon as July 5th come, he's going to have the leverage to pull the money. But without July 5th, he's not going to able.
Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, that's okay. So basically, like a savings plan for them for
Savings plan,
control
yes.
when they can get the money out.
Mm,
Okay, but I guess for the
savings
sake
plan.
of
Exactly.
Osusu, that is like good one. I guess for Osusu now, like usually like a group of people that when they come together, right,
Mm,
and then do that. So I wonder if the other way they were this are not good ones, so we will keep this. But I just wonder if other way they like what because I don't know, with like with investments, right? What's maybe they think
mm,
before the first one? What
mm,
they do? This not just brainstorming outside the first one. Another scenario what I was seeing was okay. So you have like similar to Susu but different. So Susu, you put in 1 month, one person get it. You put another month, another
okay.
person get it. But similar to
Mm,
Susu, but the way it's different is okay. You put the money in, and this is for the advanced one. Everybody put money this month. Nobody gets money. it's just savings, and then we all put money again next month. Like maybe the pick amount of months that everybody's just putting money. Nobody's taking out. But the
mm,
money, and this is me just imagination. I don't know how reliable it is, but just my imagination. But instead of the money sitting there, it can be invested, maybe some invested to something,
mm,
and now it can grow interest. And then at a certain time that is set by the group, the money gets distributed to everybody, including the interest. So
mm,
it's kind of like,
mm,
okay, so
mm,
everybody is just putting money in. So it's not to say, oh, this month you get that, this month you get that. Everybody they put in. So we
mm,
all have to put in.
mm,
So no one person another just got take and then they left next month and they come.
mm,
So say for 3 months we all
mm-hmm.
put in, that's more money with the bigger pot. The money gets invested
Yes,
each time they put in. It grows, and after it grows, the money that they get back, the app distributes to everybody at that time that's set.
Bandila, that is a good idea.
And that's
That's
what
a
I'm
good
thinking.
idea.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
That's a
So as
good
far as the
one.
investment, I don't know if the investment needs to go to the mark the stock investment, or maybe invest in somebody's business that's very serious, people are business, maybe a business that's already running, they just need funds to make more money, and then the money they get
Mm-hmm.
back, they distribute.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like group investing, but
Mm,
maybe to the local business that they distribute the money to, or to the stock market, investing in local businesses or stock, like a not. And for the stock market, I think it would be good if it's on like reliable stocks, not the ones
mm,
that are
mm,
up and down, but something reliable that grows. Or if you want to keep it local, okay, let's invest in the businesses that are already running profitable, but they just need more money to make more money.
mm,
So I think
mm-hmm.
that's what I think would be really, really good, because you did
Mm-hmm.
save, no, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody they puts, but maybe for 3 months, 5 months, for a while, you just save, and then later on, you get more back. You know,
Mm.
that's all.
That is fine.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So you get the individual we want for say, you know what? Let me just take care of my own what I get for control, or do I never say, okay, may I go invest with a group? But not
Mm.
it's the app that controls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, this I think would be good. This to grow it, but okay. So next class Thursday, we'll just do research into this and start building our project.
Okay.
Yay! All
Noted.
right, this was wonderful. Thank you, Abu. I appreciate your help for almost 3 hours. You sit here with me.
Thank you too.
So hopefully one day it comes back to you.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on, let me just stop recording real quick, and then we can. I want to stop the recording before we end the class, because